Welcome to the Impact Youth Not So Sunrise service. Today is a day to celebrate the good news of the resurrection. Yet we find ourselves this morning in the middle, somewhere between the tragic course of events that ended Jesus' life and the joy of his resurrection. To fully celebrate the triumph of his rising, we first must understand the middle, the waiting, the questioning, the disappointment of his followers at plans destroyed. To fully embrace the waiting, we must go back to Good Friday, the evening after Christ's persecution, his crucifixion, and his burial. The question this morning is asked, were you there? And the answer from the Upper Room Cafe is yes. An angel, a friend, a follower, a disciple, the formerly dead, a sinner, a denier, and a mother. They were there, and this is their story.
Welcome to the Upper Room Cafe. I'm Gabriel, host. You've picked an interesting night for your first visit, or is it your first visit? Some of your faces are familiar. Anyway, as you can maybe tell, nobody's really enjoying themselves here tonight. They've witnessed the death of someone they really cared about. And right now, the conversation is almost non-existent, and what little there is hushed. Nobody's got much of an appetite, and they're just very silent today. These people, you might not recognize them yet, but they're connected, and so are you. Some were here just last night, though the mood was very different. They're here tonight because of what happened today. A crucifixion. Man, I'll tell you, I've been around a long time. And I've seen a lot. One thing I've learned, you people are capable of some really, really dark stuff. So I can't say I was surprised at what happened today. In fact, you could say I knew it was coming. But the brutality, well, I don't need to tell you. You know. The flogging, the mocking, the nails, the thorns, the spear. So what happened today? It was a spectacle, an event for the ages. But even though it was a single event with a single huge meaning, the ripples are immeasurable. It was the death of Jesus, a man born in Bethlehem, sure, but for these people, and for you, it was a whole lot more. Let's start by meeting Nicodemus, a Pharisee, a man of power and influence, and a seeker of truth, and Mary from Bethany. No power, no influence, but just as much a seeker of truth. And they've just experienced the death of the teacher.
May I sit with you?
You can, but be warned. I doubt that I would be a good company. I'm not sure why I'm here, in this place, with these people. I don't mean to be to offend. But beyond our heritage, we share little else.
With respect, sir, you're wrong. We share our experience of him, Jesus.
And that has been a strong commonality, no doubt. But after the events of today?
Anyway, I know why you're here.
Do you? Enlighten me.
You are here because we need each other. Those of us who followed him. Now that he is... You are Nicodemus, right? The Pharisee?
A label which I am increasingly uncomfortable.
I don't judge you for it. I'm grateful for what you and your friend Joseph did for him. I doubt they would have released Jesus' body to any of the rest of us. And a tomb like the one Joseph gave was a lavish gift.
It is a small gesture, I'm nevertheless comforted that my teacher was not buried in a potter's field.
Your teacher? But aren't you a teacher? One of our great leaders?
I've done very little that is wise in my life, young lady. Tell me, what is your name?
Mary Bethany.
Ah, the sister of the dead man.
Formerly dead man. Yes, Lazarus there is my brother.
Your brother and I have much in common.
You were once dead?
In a sense, I was very, very dead in my spirit. I was buried in a tomb built of rules, laws, and expectations.
And then?
Just like I've heard you did for your brother, Jesus called me from the grave. I went to him one night to talk, to learn, to listen. I wanted to understand. All my scholarship, all my study, none of it had prepared me for what he taught me. So yes, in that moment, he became my teacher.
It was his teaching that made me love him. I sat at his feet in my very own home and listened to his wisdom.
Wisdom. That's exactly it. Do you want to know something, Mary? Something about the word wisdom?
Yes, please.
In the language of our people, we Hebrews, the word for wise is hakam.
Which also means skill. My sister, Martha, is a skilled baker. It's the same word.
Very good. But do you know why, Mary?
I'd like to learn.
At the core, it means to be able to separate, to know the difference between good and bad, to be able to distinguish what is right from what is wrong. A skilled craft person knows the good techniques and the bad techniques and can separate the two.
So a wise person can make a separation between what is good and what is bad?
Precisely. And Jesus was the wisest person I've ever encountered in all my years.
Those moments listening to him teach were the most joy I've ever known. His teaching, well, it is like you said. It has separated the good in my thoughts from the bad. And in the separation, there was understanding.
I couldn't have put it better myself. The struggles, the self-doubt I have always known, the darkness I have often found myself seeking into. His wisdom gave me strength and courage and turned the darkness to light. But there's something I am yet to understand.
What is that?
Why me? Why in his wisdom did Jesus take time for me? Couldn't he see that all my priorities have been wrong in all my life, in my studies, in my profession, in my religion? I have also always placed an emphasis on the black and white, the letter of the law, following the code. And in the emphasizing, I have missed the understanding, compassion. I separated, but wrongly. So why? Why did he value me? Why did he take time for me? Why did I make the cut? How did his wisdom fail?
He didn't fail. You were there at the cross, weren't you?
Every terrible moment.
Then you saw what he said to the criminal crucified beside him.
Truly, I tell you, today you will be in paradise with me.
It's there. That's the clue. I think that Jesus didn't use his wisdom to separate the good people from the bad people. I think maybe, no, certainly. His wisdom separated the good in us from the bad in us.
Like a refiner's fire.
Like a craftsman, like the skilled carpenter he was. He shaped and formed, whittling and sanding away the imperfections.
Leaving behind what is good.
Looking around this place, I believe that is what he did in each of us. It's what he did in you.
And in you. And now, he is gone.
I can't bear the thought that his voice is silent forever.
I need his wisdom more and more, every day. But now, it's gone. So what now?
I guess we just wait and see.
The two sitting at table 2 are an interesting duo. His name is Matthew. Yes, that Matthew. Tax collector turned disciple. Government endorsed thief turned gospel writer. Of course, at this moment, nobody knows that part. Give him a few years, though. And her name's Rachel. But your scripture readings will only have referred to her as the woman caught in adultery. dragged in front of Jesus by the Pharisees, like Nicodemus' friends. They didn't care about her, of course. She was just a prop, a visual aid in their attempt to try to trap Jesus. Matthew, Rachel, both outcasts, accused. Jesus, the friend of sinners. He died today on that cross. No, it wasn't for his own sins.
Tough day.
That's an understatement. I can't believe he's gone.
Nobody ever understood me.
Until him.
I know you get it. I'm not sure how many others can understand it the way we do.
I hope they don't. I hope they don't know what it's like to have people whisper behind your back.
To have people cross to the other side of the street to avoid you.
People refusing to look at you. And on the rare occasion that they do, all you see is judgment.
To lose your family and friends because they're ashamed of you.
But if you do know, then I think we would both agree that we hope that they had a beautiful experience of meeting him.
Jesus, the Christ.
When I was brought to stand before him as he was teaching,
When he saw me sitting in my tax booth,
in front of all those people listening to him, all those Pharisees who knew my sin,
surrounded by tax bills and bags of coins and fraudulent paperwork,
I didn't feel judged.
not at all. I felt seen.
And when he said, "Neither do I condemn you, go and sin no more,"
When he said, follow me,
I was forgiven.
forgiven. I love that word. In my days collecting taxes, I knew forgiveness as a financial concept. A few times my overseers would tell me to forgive a tax debt for reasons only they knew. But on those rare occasions, I would take the paperwork, tear it up, and throw the pieces into the fire. It was as though the debt never existed.
This is what Jesus did. He destroyed my debt, the penalties for sin I could never have paid. He dismissed them. He gave me a fresh start.
And I have never been the same again.
But today, the one who forgave my debt, paid a debt he did not owe,
The price was his body, his blood.
his life.
Follow me were his words to me.
Go and sin no more. I can still hear him.
But how do we go? How do we follow without him to lead?
See those three? You can't tell by looking, but there's something very, very different about them. They share something more than just being followers of Jesus. But I'll let them tell you what that is, though. No spoilers for me this time. But before we get to them, let's get back to you. Now that I've had a chance to look at your guys' faces, I know some of you have been here before, to this place where we, these people, and all of you, are gathered. Oh, it might not have been called the same thing when you guys were here, but I know you've been, just the same. This is a waiting place, a place where a bad thing, maybe more than one bad thing, has happened to you. It's a place of grief, of mourning, often fear, a place where you don't yet know the outcome. It's Good Friday in the upper room, sure, but it's also Tuesday morning in the doctor's office, Thursday afternoon in the lawyer, Monday after the layoffs, and 100,000 other places some of you have been. So yeah, you found yourself here before, I'm sure of it. It's a place where you're waiting for your miracle. Listen to these three, because they know what Jesus is capable of. And you want to talk about a waiting place? They've got a doozy of a story. Now, they've turned the page to a new chapter. They've just witnessed the death of the miracle worker.
Sorry, you can't sit here. This is an exclusive club.
And trust me, the membership requirements are tough.
You guys are mean. They're kidding, but it is a pretty exclusive club.
We are the SFDP.
The Society of Formerly Dead People.
We don't meet often, but tonight,
It felt important to be together.
See, the one who brought us back, he died today, and we were there.
my dad was, but I wasn't.
Be glad. was brutal. Wish I could unsee what I saw.
I followed the procession to the tomb after they took Jesus' body off the cross. The whole time, all I could think of was coming to life during my own funeral procession. I won't be able to explain it right, but the last thing I could remember before was being surrounded by my family and friends, weeping. Then there's nothing, until Jesus' words tore through the nothingness. Young man, I say to you, get up.
I know exactly what you mean. I was on my deathbed, dead, of course. I'll never get over how weird that is to say. Then, that voice, full of warmth, the sound of life. Little girl, I tell you to get up.
I stayed until they sealed the tomb today. Not to brag, but neither of these two have been on the other side of that stone. But I have. 4 days. This body was inside a tomb, just like that one. I know my soul wasn't there, but like these two, I don't think I can really explain what that was like. But then, the voice of my friend reminds me of playing hide and seek as a kid. You know how it goes when the game is over, it's time to go home? You know how you call everyone who's still hiding? That's what this was like. My friend Jesus calling out to me, Lazarus, come out.
So I pulled the death shroud from my face.
So I sat up in bed.
I stood up and walked toward the light.
I was breathing again. I felt the sun on my skin.
I was hungry. I could see the smile on his face.
I was alive, no longer entombed. But it was
Yes.
more than that.
Yes, there was more.
I was whole, maybe for the first time in my life.
That's exactly it, whole.
He didn't just bring life. He brought wholeness, completeness.
And despite our club being exclusive in a way, it's also not.
Nope, he brought that wholeness to my sisters too.
And my mother.
And my parents. He brought it to all of us.
The way the world breaks us,
Even if you're young,
We all have pieces broken and chipped off.
but Jesus, he restores us.
I don't understand how the one who did that could die.
There was life in his words.
there was wholeness in his touch.
And they killed him.
But our little club, we've got a motto.
The end,
Isn't always the end.
Do you see that man sitting alone? That is our old friend Peter here. He's the very definition of anguish. He sat here all alone tonight. Shame, I suspect. Can you identify? Maybe you sat alone. Maybe even tonight. Oh, you're surrounded by people. Maybe you even arrived with some. You're isolated behind walls of shame, guilt, self-hatred. I said earlier that you people are capable of some really, really dark stuff. And that's true. But being like me, I've seen it all. Nothing in this realm really surprises me anymore. But I'll confess, I've spent a few millennia being surprised, overwhelmed even, by a couple of things. Specifically, the compassion and love of the Almighty. He is holy, yes. He is pure and without blemish. Nevertheless, he found a way to bring himself right here into the mess humanity has created. The recipe he crafted seems simple. 1 part divinity, 1 part humanity. Baked well in Mary's womb, for 9 months. The result, though, not simple at all, because the finished item, God with man, Jesus the Christ, he's not half God and half human. He's fully God, fully man. He's a mystery, in short. He's the anointed Messiah, and he came to break down the barriers. These folks, they're in the lucky few who knew him in the flesh. But our friend Simon Peter, he's not feeling so lucky tonight. He's avoiding everyone, even his friend Philip, because today they witnessed the death of the Messiah.
You should eat something. was the name of that boy?
What boy?
You know, the boy who stood for the day, the 2 loaves and the fish.
I don't think I ever got his name.
Me either. I regret that.
I regret a lot of things.
Peter.
No, it's not Peter, it's Simon. Jesus should never call me a rock. I'm no rock, I'm sand, blown away by the wind, worthless as a foundation for anything at all, washed away with every wave.
Don't know if you remember this, but the day with the fastest people, Jesus asked me a question. How are we going to feed all these people?
I remember that.
It wasn't just a general question. He turned right to me and asked it. He put me right on the spot, and he knew it too. Remember that look he got in his eyes sometimes?
I remember that look too.
And I spat out some nonsense about how much money it would take to buy the food. How could I have gotten it so wrong?
Don't talk to me about getting it wrong. I can't look anybody in the eye in here because I'm a coward who got it wrong 1,000 times in just the last 48 hours.
Peter.
Simon, I told you that.
You're being too hard on yourself.
Am I? Short list. I caught up that servant's ear, only to have Jesus replace it. I skulked around in the darkness rather than staying by his side. I let them take him away. I failed to see that Judas was going to betray Jesus. I shouldn't even be here if they knew you.
You were scared. We all were.
Philip, I got it wrong. I got it so wrong. When he was here and I was with them, he filled my emptiness inside of me, like that day on the lake. He filled my emptiness.
I know, but you saw him for what he was. When he asked you a question, when he asked you who you thought he was, you got it right. Do you remember?
Yep. I remember. I told him that he was the Christ, the Son of the living God. So tell me, Phil, if we got it right, if he was who we both thought he was, how come we both just watched him die?
I don't know.
All my hope is gone. The well is dry. I'm torn up, man. I'm broken.
I know, Simon. I know. But I also know this. He broke the bread before he multiplied it.
Philip's right. Walking with Jesus doesn't shield us from brokenness. Sometimes it's required to restore us and heal us and bring us his abundant and miraculous light. It's possible that parts must first be broken, but then he also came to break down the things that keep us isolated, to heal and restore us. Jesus suffered to make that possible. He knew the immense pain he would endure, the mockery and abuse he would take, and he went through it anyway. Just last night, in this upper room, he told his disciples, though they didn't understand it the way they do now. Jesus said he was the bread of life. He submitted himself to being broken for your shame, for your guilt, for your punishment, for your sin. His blood was shed for the remission of sins. Remission. That's another word our friend Matthew knows quite well. It means the penalty, the debt, the charge, it's canceled, erased. The blood of Jesus did that for them, for you, for all the world. That kind of love is hard to describe. And there is one who knew it better than anyone else.
From the moment I first held him in my arms, I knew that he is love, was. That doesn't feel right. He can never be a was to me. It feels like yesterday when Joseph handed him to me and he cried out and he took his first breath. But today, I heard him cry out again and I saw him take his last breath. Grief is not new to me. My mother and my father, one of my sisters, my husband, I've stood by each of their bedsides as they slipped away from the world. I've held their hand as the warmth of life faded into the coldness of death. There is a comfort in that. I loved them and they loved me, love for love, hand in hand. But today, I could not hold his hand as he died. I could not wipe the sweat from his brow. I could not comfort my boy. I could only weep and pray. I could not drink the cup for him. When he was a toddler, he had a favorite cup. It was olive wood, a wide base, hard to tip, a small handle, easy to hold. And that was important because that child, he was always on the go, always with a giggle, a smile, quick with an embrace, a bundle of love with legs. That's what Joseph would call him. And he was right. I had known love before Jesus, certainly, but I had never known love like Jesus. This loss is greater than I could have ever imagined withstanding. And yet here I am withstanding. The world goes on, though it feels as if it shouldn't. I go on breathing, though the air has gone stale. I go on existing, though my soul has shattered. My son, the miracle child, born of my womb, yet born of God. A contradiction from his very inception. 2 in 1, divine and human. So I guess there's no surprise that he remains a contradiction. Because I know what I saw, and I saw him die. I followed as they carried him to a tomb, and I never looked away as they rolled the stone in front of that door. I know that past tense is the right way to speak of him, no matter how wrong it feels. Jesus was. He did. He lived. But then there's that contradiction. Somehow, though I saw the light in his eyes go out, and though I know his love should have died with him, I still feel it. Somehow, inexplicably, unexplainably, I know that he is. Every other light may have gone out. It may stay out for all I know. But this one, the light of his love, this is a flame that will go on burning. Just wait and see.
This is where we find ourselves, in the waiting, in the place of a great contradiction. Grief so deep, remorse over mistakes, sins, and failures. Wishing there was more that could have been done to stop the death of the teacher, the friend of sinners, the miracle worker, the living hope, and the beloved Son. All remembering and mourning, and yet still feeling the joy of being forgiven, made whole, of being loved completely. Knowing what your eyes have seen, and having the faith the story isn't over yet. It is here that we leave you and close this morning and pray that you will.
Follow Jesus with your life. That Jesus, really the Christ, the Son of the living God, forgive you.
And most importantly, is the Savior Raven was risen. But you'll need to come back to hear that story. Let me pray us out for breakfast. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you so much that we were able to be here today and hear the wonderful story of your death, Lord. And soon we will be able to hear once again and praise you for your resurrection. I thank you that we are all able to be here safely, Lord. Pray you'll bless this breakfast that the men have worked so hard for. Thank you so much for your eternal love and your grace that made all this even possible, Lord. In your precious and holy name, amen. Thank you, guys.